So, an Overwatch pro quits after harassment over whether she was really playing or not. Towards the end of last month, Second Wind, a team competing in Overwatch League's official minor league, made a new roster addition, and it was somebody that fans hadn't heard of before. The new player simply went by the name Ellie, with her first name and last name never announced and apparently still unknown. This set off a whole thing of conspiracy theories and people questioning her legitimacy, and eventually Ellie left the team. Second Wind was a high-ranked team heading into the Overwatch Contenders Season 2 playoffs. It was announced that Ellie was joining on December the 22nd. And it was pretty much straight after this that the gossip mills on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube and everything came into a massive fury about who is she, with people pointing to her relatively low account level and her sudden appearance and seeing them as grounds for suspicion. Some argued that they thought she was a long-time player who'd switched over to a new account in order to maintain privacy, which kind of went hand in hand with her apparent decision not to give out her legal name. Every other player on the Contenders roster has their full name listed alongside their gaming handle on the official website. Some believe the mystery about her name calls her entire identity into question, including her gender. There are very few women in Blizzard's Overwatch Contenders League, and fans began to speculate that she could be all number of different male players impersonating a woman. In answer to these rumours, Ellie played Overwatch on stream and brought in one of the male players she was suspected of being, a guy called Punisher, just so she could prove they were different people. It was then that a particular Overwatch pro speculated during a stream that Ellie was sort of two different people. And what he meant by this is that one of them was the person playing, while the other was the female who was sat beside them and doing all of the chatting. Then the chorus started of people being in favour of doxing her. In other words, with all this going on, Ellie, whoever she might be, stepped down, offering a simple sorry on Twitter. Now, a message from Second Wind's Twitter account chalked up her departure as being due to unforeseen reactions, with the Second Wind owner, Justin Hughes, saying that Ellie was feeling tremendous pressure from multiple directions, and that when she was brought into the team, people acted like she was some kind of symbol of empowerment. So some people were seeing her as some kind of figurehead and almost a messiah figure and viewing her as, oh, it's a woman that's going to prove that women can play, and whereas other people basically were questioning legitimacy, issuing threats, and, bashing her. Now the thing is, esports is pretty much a male-dominated scene, and it's not the first case of a woman being made to feel unwelcome. So in some ways I'm not surprised to have seen this happen. Now her departure's gained a wide variety of responses, some celebratory, some clearly upset, some people have took the pee, some people have offered sympathy. The thing is, this story seems to be getting stranger the longer it goes on, with the reports now that Ellie doesn't actually exist, and that it was all an elaborate plan for some kind of social experiment by another player or players within Second Wind. Blizzard are now apparently in a meeting to investigate the situation with the team, and apparently an esports consultant has taken to Twitter with a tweet reading regarding Ellie. Ellie has said in private messages to teammates in the last hour, confirming she's not been the one playing. She's a 17-year-old girl but is not good at Overwatch, and no Second Wind players knew. So, things are all very much up in the air at the moment. Is it a scam, a con, a social experiment? If it is a social experiment, one thing it does show is that the industry isn't particularly welcoming or accessible to women. Was this done to try and prove that and help things, or was this done as a joke? I guess all we can do is sit back, watch and see what happens. Now, I'd like to say that I have no bias whatsoever to the gender of any player, nor, my attitude when it comes to sex, gender, race, sexual orientation. I don't care. If you're good to me, or, generally good and polite and sound to people, then I'm going to be the same to you. If I'm playing with someone and they're courteous and polite, then I want to show them the same care. I don't care where they come from, what their views of this, that and the other are. But unfortunately we live in a world where not everybody's like that. At the moment though, I just want to sit back and see what happens with this. But the problem is, if this is some weird experiment that's caused all this controversy, then I don't think this is actually going to make it any easier for the next lady who feels that she wants to enter this arena. Because this kind of thing is only going to raise suspicion and make people look for a cheat, look for an angle, wonder why somebody's getting into it, wonder if they're genuine. It's just a strange situation. Okay, Kerr9000 signing off. Thanks for listening.